Lieutenant Colonel Oppelaar, sir, the floor is yours to give your remarks.
Jesse, thank you so much. It's definitely an honor for you to ask me to preside over this promotion. Lieutenant Colonel is a big deal. It's also a big step for you and your family. So, Nicole, welcome. We've already been talking, but you've been around the family for a while, so welcome. Mr. and Mrs. Diaz, it was very good to meet you. Ms. Vandermark, very nice to meet you. Amy, Jacob, Riley, Hector Jr., Pastor Hernandez, Jonathan, welcome. Thank you for your support that you provided Jesse through his career up to this point. He couldn't have done it without you. And that's to say the least. I've talked to Jesse multiple times. He speaks very highly of his entire family. So today is special. First of all, Jesse being promoted to Lieutenant Colonel. What's also cool about this is he is one of the first Lieutenant Colonels in the United States Space Force. So unlike me and just about everybody else wearing the Space Force logo, we transferred him as a rank we were in the Air Force. Jesse is moving from an Air Force major, he transferred into as a Space Force major, and now being promoted as a Space Force Lieutenant Colonel. There's only a few of those, about 60. So history is being made, you're watching it right here. So I first met Jesse when he was a detachment commander at Diego Garcia. I was a squadron commander at the 21st Space Operations Squadron. He had been in his seat for about a month when I took command, but I couldn't tell. Nobody could tell, right? Typically when you have a new commander in a position, it takes a while for them to spin up, a couple months to really get a lay of the land, understand how the unit is working and the deal with that. The first day I spoke to Jesse, he had been in the job for a month. I could not tell he had already become the expert on the system, and he knew everything that was going on at Diego Garcia. And it's a complex mission, so it wasn't an easy task. But he was definitely that expert. He is a true space professional and a space operations expert in everything he does, but this didn't happen overnight. So he sort of grew into this. So I want to cover a few things that he has in his records, just to give you an idea of how Jesse got to this point where he is today. So Jesse's career started like most of us in the space ops business right here at Vandenberg Space Force Base, although Air Force Base at the time. This was back in 2006. And he completed the officer space training and became a missileer through ICBM training. From there, he went to FE Warren Air Force Base, or Air Base. This is where he sort of built his foundation as an officer, his officership, and it led him to really, that was the first time he really got a chance to spread his wings as a leader. And I was looking back at his performance report, and there's some good quotes in here, and I'll just say one. So he was identified as an all-star performer, loaded with leadership talent. So it's really cool to see back in 2007 that being written about Jesse, and then where he is today. So he progressed, became a missile combat crew instructor and commander, and then on his final performance report, it said something to the effect that he was a platinum performer and leader. So his bosses couldn't say anything better than that about him. From there, he left in 2011, so you're done with your missile time up in the northern tier states. And he came back here to Vandenberg. This time, to get his space operations training done. So he was certified in the Parks system. If you don't know anything about that, it's very large radars we have around the U.S., and they provide missile warning missile defense. Big phase array radars. And he went to the guardian spot of Cavalier Air Force Station in North Dakota. So he came back to the training. They said, "You're in FE Warren, we're going to send you back to North Dakota." This is also when Nicole let him out of the friend zone. And they started a long distance relationship. Those were his words, not mine. But she started joining that. Again, he excelled. Up at Cavalier, he was a top crew commander, and he was also handpicked to be the standard organization and evaluations chief. So that is really where the best of the best of your unit are sent. So that's best. That's where they go. Okay, so following that assignment, Jesse returned back here to Vandenberg. Starting to see that. Vandenberg out, Vandenberg back. So, and there's probably a good reason he came back to Vandenberg. She's sitting in the So Jesse returned back to Vandenberg, and this time to stay a while. So he was assigned to the 614th AOC, which is now a Combined Force Space Component Command and Operations Center, where he was the Satellite Protection and Force Enhancement Duty Officer and then Chief Force Enhancement. And that's a tough job. If you talk to any of the people who have to do that, there are requests coming in from all over the globe for space support. And that's the duty officer that takes care of that and gets those space services out to the co-coms. Here he was recognized as a polished performer and professional that can do, or that had a can-do attitude. And he's even lauded by the Joint Staff as the go-to officer. And the big deal here, so he ended his time at the 614th AOC as a number 1 of 40 division company grade officers. So you start seeing what he's wrapping his staff into this year. And he was also promoted to major. More importantly, this is when Nicole and Jesse were married. After several years of long-distance relationships, where Nicole had the opportunity to join and visit Major Diaz, some very exotic locations, Wyoming, North Dakota. From there, they left California together, and this time they went to Davis-Monthan Air Force Base in Arizona. He took the reins of the Special Technical Operations Team, or STO team. If you don't know what they do, neither does anybody else. But no, it's where all the super secret capabilities that the U.S. government has are planned and executed from. So he got to take that lead at the 612. His boss wrote that he was a top-notch officer and the AOC space expert. And he crushed every challenge. From here, you can sort of tell that Jesse's career is accelerating. He departs here after making historical impacts as a STO chief. And this is when he and I crossed paths for the first time. And remember, no good deed goes unpunished, so all these good deeds go unpunished. So where do you think he gets sent? To the other side of the planet. Literally cannot be any further away from any other space system to be the detachment commander at Diego Garcia out in the British Indian Ocean Territory. So, can't be any further. It takes a special and unique skill set to succeed in this type of leadership position that he did out there. And he did exactly that. He definitely succeeded and excelled. He was not only my best detachment commander, but he was also the #1 detachment commander for the Network Operations Group and the 50 Space Force. That's no easy task. And you do this by excelling in one of the most challenging and remote locations the Space Force has offered. I'm also happy to say this is where he made his decision to join the Space Force. And if I remember correctly, you waited to join until May the 4th. If you're a fan of Star Wars, you understand the significance there. So he waited, and now forever on his transfer paperwork, it does say he signed on May the 4th. Even though it wasn't the same day for me, because I signed it right afterwards. Because the international date line, but you still got it before. This is also where he met his promotion board to lieutenant colonel. Having to say he was selected for promotion, obviously, or we wouldn't be here. And for those of you who don't know, you're selected for promotion based on your records. But on top of your records is a single page, and this is called your promotion recommendation form. It's 2 lines. That's it. This is what the board sees before they go through and score the rest of the record. And let me just give some inside baseball of what is on there. So this is right off of Jesse's promotion recommendation form. So he leads the most challenging and dynamic cadet with ease, broad space experience in satellite control network, warning, C-SPOC, and AOC STO operations. Definitely promote this leader as the drive, experience, aptitude of an O5. And that's what the board saw, and they selected you for promotion. So we're co-workers again. We now work in the same organization. I wouldn't have it any other way. So we're at the Combined Force Space Component Command now. I'm also happy to say he's excelling there. Again, he was labeled a superstar, and your boss is in here, so I can start talking up even more, but he was labeled superstar already, and he is the best major in CJ5H, so I'm sure he was going to be the best major, or lieutenant colonel in CJ5H. I personally know you have what it takes to be a great lieutenant colonel. I've seen you lead very efficiently, effectively, professionally. I'm happy to be part of this journey with you. So the promotion board, you'll hear in a second, selects officers based on their potential to serve in the next higher grade. Jesse's been doing that for a very long time. So if you bear with me, let's go ahead and make that happen. Jesse, you can join me up.